Greetings, YouTube. As most Americans are aware, today is the anniversary of 9/11, the day that our country underwent its worst terrorist attack. Not our first, and sadly it's not going to be our last. I remember waking up to the news. At the time I was getting up around 9 a.m. I was working second shift at that point in my life. So the alarm clock went off, and I have it set to music, and there was no music. There was a news item, and I ran to my television and I turned it on. And I got there just in time to watch the second plane hit the second tower. And my first thought on a political level was, what took them so long? Because I had thought of that particular idea 20 years before. I had thought of it as part of a plot line for a role-playing game, but I still had thought of it. I was appalled, disgusted, and my heart went out to the families of every single person involved in those attacks. But the one thing I didn't do then, or now, is blame Islam. I blame the 19 people involved in the crime. I blame the political leaders that trained them. I blame the political leaders that created the situation that created the political leaders that trained them. There's a lot of people to blame. It's an incredibly complex issue. The political leaders that trained those criminals used their faith against them. It is said that they attacked us for our freedoms. Well, our most important freedom, the number one freedom, is the First Amendment. And part of that is the freedom of speech. Something I exercise every single day. Something I hold dear to my heart. I can't think of any secular concept that I hold more dear to my heart than the First Amendment. It is the very foundation of what it is to be an American. And also today, on September 11th, 2010, there is a Reverend, one Terry Jones, unfortunately with the same name as a very entertaining British comedian, that wants to burn Qurans in a quote-unquote protest against the Islamic world. Except he's not really protesting the Islamic world, he's politically pandering to the rabid right. Because there are over 1 billion peaceful Muslims who will be insulted by his act, who have never done him harm, who have never wanted to do him harm, and have no desire to see harm befall him. But he's okay with that. He wants to politically pander to people, because this isn't about faith. This isn't about who is or isn't right when it comes to God wars. This is about political pandering. But you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to look at you and I'm going to tell you that he has every right in the world to burn those books. I don't like saying it. I'm appalled by the concept of burning books. I could never bring myself to burn a book. I considered, quite frankly, data to be sacred. Information should be preserved. Even information that is horrible or disgusting or no one wants, in the form of research done by people that you really wish they hadn't done it, but that information still becomes important. It still becomes data that we need to preserve. And this man, he wants to destroy a holy book. No, it's not my holy book. It may not even be a book that I consider holy, and that's okay. But there are people who consider it holy. And so long as they do, I'm going to support their right to consider it a holy book. I will defend their right to consider it sacred. But at the same time, I will defend this Reverend's right to burn it. Just as I will defend people's right to burn the American flag. Because the American flag is a symbol. The physical object is a piece of cloth with colors. And you can destroy every single one of them. And you can't destroy the symbol that the American flag represents. And one of the things that flag represents is the right to destroy the American flag. well, we have the right to burn books. I may be disgusted by it, appalled. I may look upon this man as a knuckle-dragging Luddite and a bigot, which is what I think he is. But they're just books. There are scholars in the world who memorize the Quran. It's part of their observation of their faith, a task of memory that is just astounding to me. And I believe that there are even some who have been able to accomplish this task as young as 9, which is unbelievable, but a testament to the human mind. So the Quran is a living document. You can't destroy it. Now, I don't have a holy book. I never have. But there is a book I venerate in the sense that I respect it, and it has been very important to me. It has been life-changing. It is not called The Moral Rules. It is written by Bernard Gurt, A New Rational Foundation for Morality. And it pretty much sums up my stance on the moral world and how we should treat each other from a moral standpoint. But it's a book. It's made out of wood pulp, made into paper, colored with ink, bound with glue. It's a book. The concepts in it can't be hurt by anyone. You could burn this book. You could take my entire building down. I'd be rather upset. But all the things behind me that I happen to collect, all the games and the references and memories that I have in those pages are just books. You can't touch the memories, and the information in them is still out there. You can't burn them all. So let Reverend Jones destroy a bunch of books. One of the most beautiful things about freedom of expression, freedom of speech, is it allows us to identify the bigots, the idiots, so easily. They put big signs on themselves that say, hey, right here, I am a bigot and an idiot. So that we can look at them, and we can look and nod our heads and say, yep, you're a bigot and an idiot. And then we can walk away. So don't give this man any more time. Don't extend his 15 minutes of fame any further than we need to. Let him burn the books. Let him think he has a victory. He doesn't. He's just a man lost in ignorance and prejudice. He's a bigot. The world doesn't need him. But we do need, what we have, is the First Amendment. For that I'm happy and I'm proud. And I'll let him exercise his First Amendment rights, and I will exercise my First Amendment rights, like I am right now.